Then we're going to turn it over to our Athena Middle School principal. His name is David Richardson. He has a couple of comments in regard to information that has been coming into his office and also about the students and staff there. Pardon? David Richardson is the principal of Athena Middle School. Then we're going to turn it over to Captain Steve Chatterton. He will talk about things that his office has been doing related to this situation. And then we'll finish up with Dr. Deb Cox, our Assistant Superintendent for Schools, who's been spearheading our internal handling of this incident. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? H-O-E-S-T.
And Johns, A-U-D.
Yeah, I had asked people when they first come up, we're just going to ask everybody to say their names and spell it, and then they'll take a pause and begin with their conversations. Okay? Is everyone okay with us beginning? Okay. Thank you.
Cap? Steve, you all set?
I'll second.
Well, good afternoon. My name is John Allberger, Supervisor of the Town of Greece, and first of all, I'd like to read this prepared statement that we have from the town. The Town of Greece offices have been inundated with phone calls and emails regarding this incident aboard a Greece Central School District bus. We have received phone calls from not only our own concerned residents, but also residents from across the great state and nation. We, too, are outraged by the behavior of this group of students and want to emphasize that the actions of a few do not reflect our community as a whole. The Town of Greece is a community of nearly 100,000 of people who are kind, respectful neighbors, and hardworking people. Greece Central School District is one of 3 districts which serve our community. All 3 districts have extraordinary students who are doing great things inside and outside their classroom on a daily basis. The Greece Central School District, our own Greece Police Department are working together to obtain evidence and review all the information so that the appropriate action will be taken in this dreadful incident. The Greece Police Department, the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, and the victim will make the final determination as to whether any criminal charges will be filed now or in the future, which we will address in a minute. With regards to disciplinary actions, the town government does not have jurisdiction over the Greece School District with regard to any resulting discipline, and those determinations rest solely with the district and the school board. I also want to take this opportunity to commend Karen Klein for her strength and courage in having to endure such treatment. Her response to their bullying is an example of the type of people which make our community great. The outpouring of care and concern that she has received from our community towards her is indicative of the depth and breadth of this great town, not the actions of those aboard Bus 784.
Good afternoon. I am deeply saddened and embarrassed by the actions demonstrated recently by some of my students. I am sorry Karen has been subjected to this kind of student behavior. I am working with Captain Chatterton and an investigator from the Greece Police Department, as well as our head of security at the Athena campus and district leadership to investigate this matter and to determine each student's specific role. Disciplinary actions to the fullest extent will be taken against all those involved. Having been born and raised in Greece, a graduate of Greece Athena, and now the principal at Athena Middle School, I, alongside my colleagues, are driven to educate and support our students. I am working to ensure that my students are successful, have the appropriate study habits and skills, and are respectful, responsible, and productive both in the classroom and in the greater community. At this time, I ask for your support and understanding that we are doing everything we can to understand the events that occurred and that the district is working to address this issue with all staff to make sure an incident like this does not happen again. Thank you, and at this time I'll turn it over to Captain Chatterton.
Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Captain Steve Chatterton with the Greece Police Department. This afternoon I brought with me Sergeant Vogel, who has been assigned to the case, along with Lieutenant Henderson, who is the head of our Criminal Investigations Division. I also brought Mike Augustinelli, who's the head of security at Athena. He's a retired police officer, and he assisted us in this investigation. I'm sure you'll have questions for me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the police department has done and where we're at this point, and then I'm going to turn it over to the school district, and I'll come back up for questions, and if you've got questions of the detectives, we'll be happy to answer them. We became aware of this yesterday morning, early in the morning, between 6 and 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, and we took immediate actions to contact the school and first verify the video and verify that we had Greece students involved. We immediately assigned a detective to the case, and the head of criminal investigations, Lieutenant Henderson, was also assigned to the case to make sure that the case was handled appropriately, because we realized what the video contained and how unique and unusual it was, and obviously we are upset by what we saw in the video, both as parents and police officers. We worked with the school district right away, and we were able to authenticate that the video were Greece students, and we were also able to verify that the Greece students all involved were 7th graders, which make them about 13 years old. We received a ton of community outpour and upset comments from people around the world, but I'd like to explain some of the difficulties that we encountered in the investigation. In New York State, in order to charge a 13-year-old in family court, you have to rise to the level of a crime, which means a misdemeanor or a felony. In New York State, harassment is actually a violation. So those were some of the things that we had to deal with, and we consulted heavily with the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, and us as a command staff struggled with. So we're still working on that as to whether this rose to the level of a crime, which would be a misdemeanor, or a felony, which we would need to charge the juveniles in family court. And that's where you would charge a juvenile, you would charge them in family court. I can tell you that we were able to identify all four individuals involved, and we have spoken to all 4 individuals and their families. Not only have we spoken with them, they've been cooperative, and they have come in voluntarily, have not requested counsel, and they've taken responsibilities for their actions. As one father put it, his son is sitting back waiting for his punishment. So no one has denied accountability, and they're taking responsibilities for their actions. We did talk to the victim this morning at length, and we explained her options, and we explained how the police department has handled the case. And as everybody in here knows, she's very likable. She's very, she's the type of woman you just want to give a hug to. But we were able to explain to her options. And one of the things in prosecution is the victim has to be able to make the decision as how they want to handle it. It's not a felony. The school district cannot press charges for the victim. She has to decide whether that case. At this point, within the last hour, she has decided she's very happy with the route the case is going through the school district, and at this time, I have to emphasize, at this time, she has decided she does not want to press criminal charges if they were able to be pressed. She's happy with the school district response, and we're leaving it open so that she can change she can change her mind at a later time. But again, at this time, she's decided she does not want to proceed with criminal charges against the 4 13-year-olds. She would actually like the school district to handle the punishment. Some of the other things that have come up that I want to address right away is why didn't the school bus driver address the situation? Through our investigation, we were able to reveal that this happened in the back of the bus on Monday afternoon. The most disturbing video happened on Monday afternoon in the back of the bus. I can personally say I witnessed the exchange between the bus driver and Karen when she walked into our first meeting on yesterday morning at 9 o'clock when she had not seen the video. I saw the bus driver look at her and explain that he was sorry, that he didn't know what occurred, and I saw the exchange that occurred between them that appeared very genuine, that there was no way the bus driver saw this conduct going on, and there were some comments made that, that Karen made that she should have said more. So while, some of the blame is being passed on to the school bus driver, I don't see that as a police captain. I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to turn it over to the school spokesman. I'll take questions after that.
Thank you for coming today. We are pleased to be able to provide you with an update, but first let me say that we have been touched by the outpouring of support for Karen, and we share the country's outrage over the behavior displayed on the videos. We are deeply sorry that Karen was subjected to this kind of treatment. Based on our internal investigation and the interviews conducted by members of the Greece Police Department, we have identified 4 Athena Middle School students as participants in this incident. Certainly, the behavior of the students on the video is a clear violation of our district's code of conduct and will not be tolerated. Disciplinary action to the fullest extent appropriate under New York education law will be taken against all involved. However, as we have stated yesterday, it is not appropriate for the district to discuss the specific disciplinary consequences that will result for any individual student. I need to stress that we have a specific process that we must follow before imposing discipline on students. Discipline for public school students in New York State is handled under specific procedures set forth in the New York State education law. In the event that a district is seeking a suspension of more than 5 days, the district must prove the student's violation of this code in conduct in a due process hearing before a hearing officer. If the student is found guilty, the hearing officer makes a recommendation for an appropriate period of suspension to the superintendent of schools. Each case is determined based upon the actions engaged in by the student as well as consideration of a student's prior disciplinary record. As is shown by the unfortunate incident, bullying is not a new issue to those who work in schools. The Greece Central School District has a strong bullying prevention model that includes a district response team, training program for staff and students, including the Ovalis bullying program, positive behavioral intervention and supports, and a bullying reporting process. In March, we also hired a special counselor to train all staff in bullying models. In fact, she is holding a previously scheduled training for administrators as we speak. The behaviors displayed on this video are not representative of all Greece Central students, and this is certainly not what we would like our students to be known for. We have worked very hard to educate students on the damaging impact of bullying and will continue to do so. We have received thousands of phone calls and emails from people throughout the country waiting to convey their thoughts. People are outraged by what has happened, and they feel the students should be punished. While we agree that discipline is warranted, we cannot condone the kind of vigilante justice some people are calling for. This is just another form of bullying and cannot be tolerated. We all need to take a step back and look at how we treat each other. It is our job as educators and parents to teach children and lead by example. We encourage parents to use this as a springboard to begin a dialogue with their children about bullying, respect, and consequences. As a school community, we will continue to take the lead in bullying education, and we encourage all students and employees subjected to bullying and harassment to report it as soon as it occurs and to take a stand if they are witness to bullying in their lives. Thank you.